What keeps me going? I think, to be honest, like first and foremost, I realized that no matter how tired I am or how I might be feeling physically, that when I come to the salon, I actually wake up. I actually come alive. And I think that is one of the things that made me realize that, this was a job that I actually love, you know. Um, and just one of the things that I'm called to do. Maybe about 15 years ago, maybe, I kind of started to realize that in the salon behind the chair is actually my ministry. Um, yeah, that is actually my ministry. It's my platform. It's my pulpit, if you will. Um, Pulpit means to actually pull someone out of a pit, and I've done that quite a few times, just in realizing the influence that I have on people to actually pull them out of a certain place. So ever since I was a kid, just, always being into all things creative, whether it was singing, drawing, dancing, fashion. So yeah, once I got into this industry, and again, it probably took me a while before I realized the different avenues that I was able to be even more creative. But how did I merge the two? I would say when I started my women's organization, Color Yourself Confident, that gave me an opportunity to really merge the two. Just taking a creative thing to actually talk about self-confidence and deal with the issues of low self-esteem.
So what are some of the bumps that you went through to get to this point?
Some of the bumps that I went through to get to this point. I think one of them, because I probably could talk about quite a few. I think one of them is having, started out in a traditional salon. Being as creative as I am, and just having a very entrepreneurial spirit, so to speak. So I'm always like, what can I do? How can I make some money? How can I use my creativity to generate, income or whatever? My mind is always on, I don't want to say what's next, but I was in an environment that kind of challenged my freedom to be able to do that, if that makes sense. So when the opportunity to be in a suite came along, it was like, oh, okay, I could use this space to do more of what I was trying to do in a traditional salon, if that makes sense. I'm more freedom, for sure. That was probably one of the earliest things that I've dealt with. I've had several physical challenges that could have prevented me from being where I am now. It caused me to I'm just trying to think. it was exhausting. I'll say that. Definitely exhausting to get up and go. So to your question that you asked earlier about, what keeps me going, I've never had an issue with, oh, I don't want to go to work today because I hated what I did. It was more of the physical challenges that I was having that made me like, I need to stay in the bed. You know what I mean? But again, once I would get to the salon, as tired as I was, and if you ask any of my clients, they know me to be the sleepyhead, right? But even in me being as tired as I was for as long as I had dealt with those challenges, it was just still like, I gotta come in here and do what I gotta do. You know what I mean?
So this was kind of an escape from the bumps in the road. This was kind of like the off-road, it was paved.
Yeah.
It felt good when you got in here. It was relaxed.
Yeah. And having clients who would much later find out some of the things that I had experienced, who had been with me for a long period of time, and for them to say, I had no idea that you were experiencing any of those things, right? So even that statement, you know what I mean? It's like, either I'm in the right place, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, or I just covered it up real good. You know what I'm saying? So I would say it wasn't so much the covering up. Now, some of it was using wisdom in not coming to work with your heart on your sleeves. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, knowing that, or learning how to separate home from work, or your personal whatever that comes along with that from work. You still got a job to do. You know what I mean? You still have people that are watching you. You know what I mean? So
it is hard on us as stylists and barbers to keep that energy up.
Yeah.
You always want to uplift.
Yeah.
And like you said, I do feel like this is like almost like a church in a way. People don't go to church to be sad, they go to church to be uplifted. And we have to hold that, we gotta uplift.
We also have to learn how to be transparent without bringing the mood down, if you will.
Right, okay.
You know what I mean? So, how you been doing? It's been a challenge.
Right.
However, I'm alive, I'm here, and I'm gonna keep on moving forward. That's how you keep it up. Yeah.
You like color red, right? Like you do.
Go ahead, continue.
You do a lot of reds, I've noticed. Looking through your page, what inspired you to do that color, and like, are there some people that you look up to in the industry, in our industry, or the music industry, or the movie? Like, is there anybody that inspires you?
So, as it pertains to red being my specialty, I've worn my hair red for over 20 years. So that was considered my staple color, because that was what I wore, and and that's what I did well. Obviously, I attracted a lot of clientele for redheads or whatever. So that's how red became my thing. Now, just kind of servicing a different demographic, different target market, just trying to help the more mature woman to realize she can be gray and still have some sass, you know, be gray and still show her creativity. What was your other question? What did you ask?
What are your who inspired you in the industry?
Oh, who is that?
Like, do you ever look at somebody? Okay, I like that. Like,
I mean, I look at people all the time, like we all do. I have for years, but to say that there is or was one individual in the industry that I would just, oh, this is the person. Like when I was coming up in the industry, we didn't have social media. We had magazines. I wish I could think of the names of some of them right now, but we had magazines, so it wasn't, you know, you didn't have the influence that you have now. So for me, especially in the earlier days, the first, you know, more than half of my career, I was an innovator. So a lot of the things that I see now in the industry, it wows me because I was doing a lot of those things 20 years ago. And just wishing I had some of the tools that we have now, and just wondering where would I have gone, what would I have done, how far or even much faster would I have progressed if I had some of the tools that we have now. But yeah, just, you know, I was one of those people that was just very, my creativity allowed me to be very innovative. So I didn't necessarily look to other people for that. I think it was more of the camaraderie of being around other stylists. That is the plus of being in a traditional salon.
That's true, I agree.
Because while you're working, to be able to kind of look over, like that was the inspiration.
I agree.
Yeah. So it's a little different when you're in a suite, because you kind of have to be a little more intentional about being in that type of environment, for sure. For sure.
So how is being in the suite, like if there was somebody looking up to you, you know, through your social media page, or they may be one of your clients, how is having a suite? Like if they asked you about it, like would you recommend it? Would you tell them to start how you started, like more in a traditional salon?
So, in the past, and some of it still rings true today, but in the past I would tell people that it would be more wise to make sure you have a clientele built before coming into a space like this, especially if you're new to the industry, because it's not easy. You know, I've been in a suite for 15 years. So in 15 years, I've experienced extreme highs and I've experienced extreme lows. But again, going back to now having more resources than maybe what was available when I first came into a suite. I think if you invest in education, in a coach that can kind of help you to put things in place before coming to a place like this, it doesn't have to be difficult. Does that make sense? Yeah, it doesn't have to be difficult. if it's someone's desire to have their own space, I always say go for it, but just know what you're getting into. You know, it's a responsibility. It may not be the responsibility of a large scale, open concept, traditional salon, but you know, there's still a responsibility that comes with having a suite, you know. So my number one goal is to bridge the gap between the conversations that take place in the salon and the Color Yourself Confident experience that I give through my workshops. So kind of merging the two together. Like I said, just kind of bridging the gap between the two. So using the creativity of the salon experience to talk about real life issues.
So tell me more about your Color Yourself Confident. Like, give us a summary of that. What is it?
So Color Yourself Confident is giving women the tools to discover, define, and develop her self-confidence. I realized one day, maybe about 14, 15 years ago, that as a beauty industry professional, that I have the influence to either build up your self-esteem or to break down your confidence. We see a lot of people, you know, come through, right? That sit in our chairs, that have a lot of different, you know, things going on, right? And I think it started with the whole transition of women growing their hair natural. And just seeing how the whole natural hair movement really affected people's self-confidence. Like, and that was just a portion of it, but even kids, just some of the responses after straightening their hair. Oh, I'm so glad my hair is straight. And I intentionally ask, well, why? Because my hair isn't nappy anymore. One of the statements that burns me to my core when I hear anybody, especially a grown person, say that, because I don't think people really understand the power of their words. And the word nappy has such a negative connotation attached to it.
I agree.
Yes. So in that one experience, having to tell a child, you know, is your hair tighter than your classmates? Absolutely. Does that make your hair any less beautiful than those kids? Absolutely not. Don't say that ever again, especially not to yourself, right? And then having similar conversations with adults. Oh, I could never wear my hair like that. I could never wear my hair red. How do you know? Have you worn your hair red before? Well, nah, but I know I couldn't do it. But you don't know if you've never tried. So just and also let me say, having experienced hearing other stylists say to customers, your hair too nappy for that kind of hairstyle. Oh girl, you need a relaxer. Well, we as women already deal with a lot of things, and you tell as the stylist who I'm supposed to help you leave feeling better about yourself.
Right.
But I tell you, we have to use wisdom in our words. That might not be the best idea for what you're trying to do. But oh, your hair is too nappy for that. It makes me cringe every time I hear a stylist say words like that. So Color Yourself Confident was birthed out of the salon experience. I have influence. I'm I don't want to say your first point of contact, but it's more than just me doing your hair when you sit in my chair. So Color Yourself Confident is giving women the tools to discover who they are first.
That's deep.
Giving you the tools to define what self-confidence actually means to you, because you can't get to the development stage if you don't even know what's the goal.
Right.
You don't even know what it looks like, especially if the image that you've been seeing this whole time has been a distorted image, so to speak.
Of self, right?
Yes.
Right.
From those two examples I gave, did that child hear that growing up? Is that why? Oh, I don't want my hair nappy. Did a parent tell them that? You know what I mean? Somebody did. So with Color Yourself Confident, helping you to understand where that thought process and wrong thinking came from.
Kind of rewire people's minds.
Right. How do we redefine some of those things, and then me giving you the tools to help you develop your confidence, develop your whole inner self to become the person that you ultimately were created to be. So getting to the heart of the issue, and because self-confidence is an inner, beauty is inside out. It's not all this stuff, it's the heart. That's where your confidence issues, that's where they start. That's where the wrong thinking or whatever we've been told, it's embedded in the heart. Because it's in there, it affects how we think. It doesn't start here, it starts here. You tell me something that, just think when someone tells you something that hits your emotions from a negative standpoint. First place you feel it, right? As soon as they say it, you feel it.
You feel the heart skip a beat.
Yeah. And then because of what you felt, the thoughts are triggered. Oh, I must not be good enough. I must not look, appealing enough. Or whatever. It starts there.
Because I think that's insane how you're born with a certain texture of hair, and you think changing it to look like somebody else is going to be beneficial to you. Like it's like you're masking your true self.
Mm-hmm.
You're hiding away from your true identity. And that's backwards.
Yeah.
Inside out, upside down, and backwards.
Yeah.
So you're helping people discover the true nature of themselves.
Yeah.
Bringing that out.
Yeah. Yeah. And I had a client some years ago, and she said to me, "You don't know how much you helped me just by you being you." And I was like, huh? Right? And so she said it again, and I was just like, wow. I said, what she just said, like, I literally was just being myself. And actually, she said, because you were okay with just being you. So I always tell people three things I ain't never wanted or wanted to be. I ain't never wanted to be tall. I ain't never wanted to be light skinned. And I ain't never wanted to have long hair. This is the most hair I've had in 25 years. Right? So I've never not wanted to be
anything outside of yourself.
Anything outside of myself. I never wanted to be anything that was not the way God already created me to be. Now, just like anybody else, do I like things that enhances what I am, what He gave me, what I have? We all do. And I never wanted to be something other than me. This is who I am. Period. And I want other people to have that same experience.